Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside Titan Sports. I'm Jeff Radcliffe, and as always, we will discuss all things Eastern Florida State College athletics for the next 30 minutes. A very softball-heavy show here on this edition. We have Ed Yanis, a couple of his players as well. That will be segments 2 and 3, but we begin with bringing in the Associate Vice President for Athletics, Jeff Carr, and Wilfred Williams, who is on to the soccer player, the defender, native of Johnson City, Tennessee, who is now going to be going up to Oakland to play Division I. And congratulations. Just kind of get an update on what's going on with you. And we do have a big announcement, though, we have to get off, Jeff, here to start things off, don't we?
Absolutely. We started an award last year called the Heart of a Titan, and Landis Anderson was our first recipient, a great young man. And Wilfred Williams is the next recipient of this award. Can't say enough about Wilfred here. His achievements on and off the field, his servant leadership attitude, his leadership, always thinking of others before himself, being a refugee from Liberia originally, just what he's gone through to get to where he is, first team All-American this year. One of our captains led him to the Final Four. So great pleasure. The second recipient is Wilfred Williams.
All right.
Congratulations, Wilfred.
Thank you, Coach Carr.
So proud of you. You've done a great job this year and very deserving of the award.
Thank you.
Wilfred, what did you think you were coming here today to talk about?
I thought I was coming to talk about soccer.
Okay, we can still do that. Tell me, I know Landis won last year. What typifies a winner, and what were you looking for? And I'm sure that's a very competitive field when you have so many quality athletes.
Absolutely. We have student athletes. I mean, he excels in the classroom. He went above and beyond, not just for the men's soccer team as a leader on and off the field, just his servant attitude, his heart. He's at almost all the different athletic events. He's always supporting each other, and a lot of the student athletes look up to him. And just a tremendous young man, very deserving. And he epitomizes what a graduate from Eastern Florida State we would like to see in our student athlete. And he's so very deserving, a humble young man, and just love the young man and what example he was to the men's team and to the athletic department.
Obviously, any athlete that comes here, the time is short. And for you, it was a short time here, but you accomplished a lot. What are you going to remember about what you accomplished on and off the field here at Eastern Florida State College?
One thing I'm really going to remember is just being able to go to to other athletic games and just cheering on my teammates, because at the end of the day, we're all one school, and so I want to be able to support everyone just the way they supported me during my season.
I think an unusual and a great aspect of being part of this program is that all the sports cheer on the other. I mean, there was a very big sense of community within the school, something you would see maybe in a Division I environment. You've got it here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of support. Unfortunately, Palm Bay was on the softball was on the Palm Bay campus, but once it's up there too, it'll get the support that the other sports on the Melbourne campus did. But yeah, it's a close-knit family. They hang out off the field together, all the athletes, and yeah, it's a special group of student athletes that we have. And it's sad this time of year that we're going to lose Wilfred and others, but hopefully others will come in and carry on the torch for us and support all the athletic programs.
Oliver 12 Threes will tell you, one of the most unselfish guys. You're a guy who's been an attacking player your entire soccer career. You come here, you get stuck back on as a fullback first, and then all of a sudden you're playing center back.
Yeah.
And how tall are you again?
I'm 5'7", supposedly.
Well, what kind of challenge was that positional switch? And I mean, you smiled the entire time. What wasn't a big deal to you?
Well, it's because with my height, so I have to try to play smarter. I know I can't win a lot of balls in the air, so I just let the player win the ball and then use my speed and my strength to try to win the ball. So instead of trying to use my disadvantage, I use my advantage against them.
Jeff, as a soccer coach, I mean, how valuable is it to have somebody willing to really plug in anywhere that you need, wherever you have a use, really?
Well, again, that just says a lot about Wilfred's character. He's more about the team than himself. So yeah, he could play any position on the field. He's very gifted athletically, and he just has the tactic, the soccer savvy smarts to play any position.
Had a season, a Division I season before you came here. And now you're going back, and so Oakland. Tell us a little bit about the program you're going to. Where do you think you're going to be playing? That's up in Michigan, so the weather's going to be there's going to be a stark contrast to what you played with this past season.
It's going to be a lot different. You just got to get used to the cold weather again. I'm looking to be playing left back for Oakland. Going in, hopefully off the back I can try to earn a starting spot. I know there are a lot of guys that are there. I just got to earn my respect to them and continue through my career at Oakland.
Going back to Landis last year too, what was the brainchild? What was the beginnings of the Heart of a Titan? How did the idea come up? And and we know why it's so important. But.
Well, I came up with the idea after seeing Landis last year, and just he playing with a disability, basically having one hand, and just the exceptional young man he was, and I just thought that those are the type of student athletes we want to recognize. He's come through some adversity, but he's succeeded on the field and in the classroom, and a tremendous young man, and I feel the same about Wilfred as well.
Wilfred, did you have any idea or that something like this was going to be happening?
No, not at all.
Not at all. What's it mean to you overall then?
It means a lot because not only do I get to leave the school, but I get to take something with me to always remember me playing at Eastern Florida. This award is very surprising, but I'm really grateful that they chose me to be with this award.
Wilfred Williams, you're a Heart of a Titan. Let's continue this soccer conversation since we have you both up here. OCB, you got to see a couple of the games that have already been played. Got their first win over the weekend, and now we're going to get to see a lot of them at the Titan Soccer Complex. I believe we got a span of 3 games in 6 days, and that's going to be a challenge to keep the field in good condition, right?
Yeah, we're excited about that, and hopefully the community will come out and support that as well. But yeah, 3 games in 6 days, a lot of games, a lot of the legs are going to be tired for OCB, but we were excited that Anthony, got off the snide and got his first win last week in Pittsburgh.
USL, you're going to be familiar with that because in the summer before you go to Oakland, you're going to be playing in the PDL. Talk a little bit about playing in Charlotte. That's kind of a unique situation in which, if you don't know, it's a lot of collegiate players that play in a professional environment and kind of gets you ready for that next level, and I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, last year I got the opportunity to play with the Eagles last year, and it was a great experience because I was playing with guys that have gone on and playing professionally right now. I got about 13 starts last year, and I was a big player for them last year. So coming back, it's going to be really exciting because we're in the U.S. Open Cup, and I'm looking forward to playing with them May 11th.
And another thing, I mean, having OCB here gets guys like Wilfred #1 seen, but then they also get to kind of be around. You got a chance to play against the big club, the MLS club. That's been a coup, really, for Eastern Florida State College to have the professional soccer environment now come here.
Yeah, absolutely. The relationship we have with Orlando City, we've played the Orlando Pride this year. They've played OCB, they've played the MLS team, and just having that connection, if we need anything from them, or they. Like Tom Sermani's invited me to practice, just so we can pick up, some new things from them. So yeah, we're excited about the relationship, and yeah, giving exposure to Wilfred and some of the other boys to hopefully get to the next level, maybe with OCB or Orlando City.
Who knows? We see Wilfred back here playing for OCB in a year's time, or a couple of years' time. Going forward for you professionally, is that the goal for you to get in that environment, or is it just let's get my degree and then figure it out afterwards?
Definitely a goal. Whatever comes first, I'll take it.
And that has to be obviously a goal with many young players, but I mean obviously the education, the first and foremost, moving them on to be successful later on.
Absolutely. Again, we stress that they're student athletes, and more so the men, I think, have more desires to play professionally than the females. There'll be a few on our team that possibly play professionally, but realistically it's more the men that see that happening.
Jeff Carr, Associate Vice President for Athletics, and Wilfred Williams, the 2016 Heart of Titan Award winner. Congratulations and best of luck to you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to softball as the Titans get set to make the state tournament and play in the state tournament for their 12th straight year. Ed Yanis, a couple of his players, will be joining me right after this on Inside Titan Sports.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. I'm Jeff Radcliffe, and now we turn our attention to the softball diamond as the Titans getting set to make their 12th straight state tournament appearance. Now the head coach in his 13th season, Ed Yanis. And first special guest, we'll have another in the special segment. We got Rosie Liard, the native of Quebec City, Quebec, and a sophomore who's going to be moving on. This has got to be an exciting time in that you're going back to states. That's kind of the normal thing. That's like clockwork. You can set your watch to it, set the date. But this is a sad time because the season's about over. You got to say goodbye to so many wonderful students, so many athletes as well.
That's correct, Jeff. And again, good afternoon. We're glad to be here. But yeah, those are two very exciting times. You know, we get a chance to make the postseason again. When we were here early in the season, we had a little bit of tough stretch. They turned it around. They did a phenomenal job. You can see that maturity factor kick in probably about the second month in when we have a 9 sophomores. So that's fun. It's exciting going back to the state tournament. And it is sad to see some of them go. I shouldn't say some, all of them go. You know how that goes. Some we've had over the years that graduate, we turn out the lights, hope they never come back, but not for this group. They're a phenomenal group of young ladies, and I can't speak highly enough of them and what they've had to endure, you know, during the season. They'll probably off the camera, they could probably tell you some things, but I'm glad they're not doing it now. But it's very fun and exciting. I'm glad to share the last couple of years with them.
Rosie, they always say the season's is a marathon, not a sprint. It's been a battle back and forth. Talk about how the season has been for you and your teammates.
Like Coach Shanna said, we had a rough beginning, and then we turned around and basically show what we could do during season. So.
Talk a little bit about Rosie and what she brought as an outfielder. And you know, and bringing somebody from Canada is very highly unusual, really.
Well, how we found Rosie was interesting. We had another young lady a few years back from her same baseball team. She played baseball her whole life growing up, which is a tribute to the way she plays the game, the knowledge of the game, as all of them have, but she has a little different perspective on it. One of her coaches, her baseball coach, called us and said, hey, we have another young lady. We tried to get the first one a couple years back, and she ended up staying up north, but when he called us and said, we'll say, yeah, if she's anywhere near the young lady that you sent us before, bring her on down, we'll give it a shot. Rosie came down, worked out with us, and at that time, she had never even played softball. She was just making a transition. So when we saw her swing the bat and try to throw the ball, we're going, I don't know if this is going to work, but she had a great effort, great attitude going in. The work ethic was second to none. Her first year, little learning of the curve, if you will, learning the game a little bit from the baseball side, a little nuances, but she transitioned into a phenomenal second year, made the all-conference team, so she's done a great job. And it's a credit to her work coming in every day, day in, day out, no matter what the weather is and to give it her all and effort every day at practice. And it shows. So.
It's crazy. You saw a rise ball as a hitter for the first time just 2 years ago.
Yes, and it was, I didn't know what to do. I was like, this is a first.
It's amazing. And why did you play baseball? I mean, that's what I think a lot of people at home would want to know. Why baseball and not softball?
Back home, baseball for girls, it's normal. It's not something unusual, so it's just, that's what it is. And then my brother was playing, so I was like, oh, Mom, I want to play, and then just kept going.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said a lot of that translates. I mean, you are a softball coach, but you know, a baseball player, minor league level, long career. There obviously the game is played very similar, just on a shorter dimension, a different ball. What other similarities and differences make baseball players adapt to softball?
Well, I think what separates it in the beginning is the knowledge of the game. You know, Rosie plays the game regardless of which way we're playing, baseball or softball. Her and I will have a conversation every now and then about a certain topic on ESPN, and you see it. And she sent me a phenomenal article the other day about what separates the different levels. And she's always constantly studying the game, asking questions, wanting to learn. And I think just the work ethic coming into that set herself up for success. And she's going to be successful whether it's softball, baseball, and her chosen profession of psychology in a few years. She's going to do very well in life in general.
Oh, so you're one of those thinking players out
Yes,
there.
I
mean,
am.
you have a lot of time when you're in the outfield to kind of.
Yes.
Yeah. What brought you here to Eastern Florida? Not just psychology, I'm sure, but why come all the way down here?
Well, I knew that Coach Janis was an old baseball player, so we had that in common. So that was basically the main reason I came down here.
It must be nice you can grab the local players, and we'll meet Sarah here in our next segment,
Yes.
but then bring from not just around the country, but internationally as well.
Yes. And you mentioned Sarah, you know, she works with Rosie in the outfield, and they've become a great tandem along with our other outfielder, sophomore Mackenzie Sauer. So to get the kids from everywhere and to bond and to grow in the couple years that they're here, it's phenomenal to see that, and that's the more important. Bob will talk to you about the stats and the numbers in the game, and he and I have a great relationship relating to these kids. And we always talk about if we can't go to bed at night and sleep, and we have to worry about what's going on and off the field, then those kids don't need to be here. And this group of girls, Sarah's up next. I've had no issues, no qualms about the whole season about it, and it's phenomenal that I like having those type of kids here for us. It just makes it easier. I work enough and see enough bad things on my regular job, and I don't want any of those kids happen to be one of my patients, if you will. So when these kids come from all over the world and all over the country, they only get a little bit of time to gel together. Sometimes it takes that first year, and you can see that maturity level. It's like going over to the wall and clicking that light switch that second year, and we like it. Bob and I like it. Doing this, Bob's been doing it close to 35, 40 years, and together, he and I about 15 years now, but seeing a lot of things happen. It's fun. It's a great time for us. Sad time to see them go, like you mentioned early on.
Yeah, you mentioned you don't want them as a patient. Of course, Coach Yanis, a firefighter and paramedic here. So, as far as you now, future, because you get, hopefully you last a long time here in the state tournament coming up, and you're playing as long as you can. But what do you have ahead?
Right now, I'm talking to another school up north, but nothing is like concrete yet. So I don't really know. And if this doesn't work out, I'm just gonna go back home and play baseball and like start my major.
And now, do we have a pipeline here to Brevard County from Quebec?
I think so. I think part of that is going to be with from Sarah. Rosie's baseball team came down. They seem to be big fans of Sarah that day, huh, Rosie? So hopefully that coach will come down when they come in their spring season down here. They bring their team, and the next young lady that he happens to go to have on his team, if we're still here, he knows to give us a call.
My last question for you, Rosie. What does it take to continue playing as long as possible? What do you guys need to do as a team?
We need to work as a team. That's like the main thing. I think we proved like during conference game that we can win against any team, and that's all we need, like teamwork.
How many more years you have this? I mean, it's a broken record. Yeah, but let's take another team to the playoffs. Let's do this. I mean, it never gets old for you. I can sense.
We really enjoy the competition. So Bob and I have a plan in our head, and we'll discuss that. But we love to compete and go out there and teach, and that's what we try to build ourselves as we like to coach and teach. When they leave here, we hope they have a different perspective on the game, whether it's on and off the field or just another way of looking at it. Sometimes our record doesn't show it, but we know when we leave here or they leave here that we hope we've done our job and get them to look at the game at a different level. So Bob and I have a plan, and we'll go from there.
Ed, always a pleasure, and a pleasure to meet you, Rosie. Best of luck in your future endeavors. We'll go from one Coach Y to the other. Bob Yancheski will be here. We'll also have Sarah Hart in our next segment on Inside Titan Sports.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. That was awesome.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Welcome back to the final segment of Inside Titans Sports, and we continue to talk softball as the Titans getting set to make the trip to Dodgertown and Vero Beach to make the state tournament for the 12th straight season. It just continues to roll on. We've got Bob Yancheski, the assistant coach, longtime assistant coach and coach here in Brevard County. I like to call you Encyclopedia Bob because he's got this memory and this ability with numbers that is second to none. And then, of course, Sarah Hart, who we were talking about in our last segment, the outfielder from Satellite Beach, the former Scorpion. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Let's talk a little bit. Let's just start with what you have ahead, because the season is still going. We don't want to. We want to celebrate what's already happened, but how many games can we continue to play here?
We're looking to go 4-5 games. That'll take us to the finals of the state tournament, and everybody down there is in Vero Beach right now. When we get there on Friday, is 0-0.
Okay.
Nobody has a record. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody's got a chance. All you got to do is show up on the field. Play your game like we know we're going to play our game, and we're going to surprise a few people down there this year.
Sarah, how hard is it to flip the switch? You had this long marathon of a season, and now it is. You're 0-0.
Yeah, well, I think like coming into conference, our mindset was definitely like set on winning, like against Indian River, Palm Beach, like all the major teams, and like coming into like the state tournament now, I think our mindset is going to be back, and we're going to be able to like beat anyone. I think if we have the right mindset.
Tell me about the mindset of Sarah and maybe some of her teammates right now.
Right now, the mindset is very good. They've got their mindset on the same goal that we set forward for them at the beginning of the year. That was to get to the state tournament and get us a little bit farther than the first round or the second round, and see what we can do. We do have a lot of leadership coming into that. We just had our conference tournament meeting down in Indian River, and we voted on the conference players of the year. We specifically don't vote for our own players. We put our own players out there, and the 4 other coaches vote for our players. We had 3 first team players. Carly Smith got at large, Alexa Snyder got as pitcher, and Hannah Roberts got as infield. We got 4 second team members. We had Natasha Kitzler at shortstop. We had Taylor Zatello, a catcher. We had Rosie Lard in the outfield, and we also had Sarah Hart in the outfield. It's quite an honor to be voted in, when your peers are voting you in, and they look at us and go, oh, what about, how come you didn't vote me in? Well, we don't vote. We just put your name out
That's
there.
amazing. And that's basically an entire batting order is making the all-conference teams. That's excellent. Sarah, for you, you get a chance to play close to home here the last couple of years, from Satellite to Palm Bay. Get to have the family come, and now really going down to Dodger Town. I'm sure you're having some people come to see you too. What's it like to have played at least the first part of your collegiate career here?
Well, it was really nice, like being around here for so many years, like knowing the program. I heard like it's very good and like the coaching's incredible. So I was like, okay, like might as well give it a try. Like not like stop my softball career yet, but yeah, it was very nice being local and stuff.
Tell me a little bit, about Sarah, how she fit in here in her 2 years.
Sarah just come in and she fit well with our team. She was the right person for the outfield that we really wanted in that position. She does play right field, but she can play any of the 3 positions, center field or left field, at any given time. Like we talked on our early edition, she was one of the players that come in and played shortstop when we lost our shortstop and second baseman. And you thought about a person with a face going, can I play short? She goes, I played it once. And then when we had our sophomore day, we even shocked her a little bit more. We said, did you ever pitch? She goes, oh, I pitched at Satellite. We go, okay, now you're going to pitch in college. And she pitched.
Surprise! Talk a little bit just about the time here and the friendships that you've developed before you move on.
I've met some incredible girls. Like, I just can't say enough about them. Like, we have a really good chemistry, and like we're all there for each other. Like, we would do anything for each other on and off the field, and it's something I'm never going to forget.
Gulf Coast State College is the opponent, at least the first one. It is double elimination. What do you know about the opponent, or are you one of those coaches that we're not really worried about what the opponent does? If we take care of our business, we're going to be all right. But what do you have facing you?
Everybody thinks that way except for me. I don't go into anything blind.
Okay.
I know what they are, what they got, and who's going to beat us, who's not going to beat us, who's going to pitch against us. But the good thing for us is we did play them earlier in the year, and we had a good game over in Clearwater. So we're not going up against a team that we're going in blind. We're going in against a team that we can handle. So we'll be all right in the first round.
Obviously, you hope to take this as far as you guys can, but for you were telling us, in the break that this is probably the end for you softball-wise. So what do you have ahead?
Well, I'm gonna finish my major and like just finish school and stuff and see where that takes me. And like, I think I'm gonna go into real estate after, but I'm gonna keep on the program and stuff and see where they are after.
And like Coach Yanis, I mean, that's what you want to hear, being productive, successful people, not just on the field, but off the field and going forward. You've made an impact in their lives, and that's exactly what you've done.
Correct. That's the good thing about it. That's the rewarding thing for us as coaches, to see them going on and doing something in their life, and them emailing or text us or Facebooking us back to let us know what they're doing after they leave here. And it's pretty exciting on some of them.
Switching gears, what's the mindset here as you go down to Vero Beach?
I think we're gonna have a pretty good mindset. We all want to win and like take it like as far as we can. I know the first 2 games are gonna be hard, but going in there like everyone ready and playing like we did when we first had our first conference game, I think we can take it as far as we can.
and take it as far as you can. What happens after? Do you you get a break, or is it immediately back into recruiting to replace all these fantastic people that you've lost?
After we win the state tournament, we get about 2 or 3 days off, and we get to go out to Utah, St. George, Utah. So that'll be a good thing to go out there, see the area. See, it's a big softball area, and we've heard it's a good place to go and play, and that's what we're looking for.
On your bio, you say you want to travel the world. Is that's still the idea?
Well, yeah. I mean, I love seeing stuff, and going to Utah would be amazing, you know. But I'm very I explore a lot, like, you know, just like I like seeing things. So yeah.
Worldly youngsters that you're bringing up. You're turning them to these adults that want to experience everything. And softball's a way to do that too, and meeting people and going different places.
Sure, it's that way when we go on a recruiting role too. We go out there and we talk to different people, and not only are we recruiting the young ladies to come in, we're also recruiting the young ladies that we have in the program already to go to another school after they're done with us. You know, that's our job. We got to get them to another institution.
One thing I want to get to the bottom of with Sarah is when you look at the website in your bio, it says your non-athletic talent is being crafty. So I want to know is there a definition, and what do you mean by that?
Well, like all the girls like off the field will be like hanging out together, and we'll go get like paint and like canvases and stuff and like paint stuff, or like go do pottery and just being crafty and like making things.
Okay, so real, like, you know, being a liberal arts and crafts major like I was in college, something similar there, but okay, outstanding. Well, Sarah, appreciate the time. Best of luck in the States. You too, Coach, and look forward to seeing you in the chair right here next season.
Okay.
Thank you.
Coach Yancheski, Sarah Hart, and that, unfortunately, is all the time we have for this edition of Inside Titan Sports. I'd like to remind you to get the inside dish by visiting the school's website at EFSCTitans.com. Everything you need to know about the athletics program at Eastern Florida State College, all the scores, the stats, the breakdowns, player profiles, it is all there for you. Or just join us each and every week on WEFS for Inside Titan Sports. So for all my guests here today, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long and go Titans.